icebreaker of a game, which we do every session. For those of you who are new, what we've got is a virtual hand-up game. In the real world, we normally play this with you raise your hand, either left hand or right hand, but obviously that's going to get really complicated on a virtual environment. So what we'd like you to do is in the chat, tell me where over the last 7 days have more people searched for Dominic Cummings or for Boris Johnson. Okay, if you think it's Dominic Cummings, press 1. If it's Boris Johnson, press 2. Lots of ones. What's he done? Has he done anything? I haven't really followed the news recently. What's he been up to? Incidentally, Barnard Castle's a lovely place. Lovely place this time of year. My grandparents used to live there. Very nice place to travel to. But we're not allowed to. Are we travel? I don't know. Are we allowed to do it? Let's find out. Did anyone? No one said Boris Johnson by an absolute country mile. Yeah, it is in fact Dominic Cummings. A huge spike in traffic there as he jaunts around the country. No judgment. Right, moving on to the next one. The new normal versus back to normal. What do we think? Number 1 for new normal. Number 2 for back to normal. What do we think? Okay, let's have a look. It is, in fact, back to normal. Not a fan of it. Not a fan of it myself. Neil and Molly will know full well. I'm not talking about going back. There's no back. There's only forward. So we'll go to the next one. Lockdown versus isolation. Has this changed? Because we've done this lots of times now, and it's changed historically. So more people searching for lockdown or more people searching for isolation? Okay, some mixed numbers going in here. It is, in fact, lockdown. So that's changed again. So when we started this about 2 months ago, it was lockdown, then it went back to isolation, and now it's back to lockdown again, just showing the way that things are kind of shifting. Stay alert versus stay at home. Past 7 days in the UK, what do we think? Stay alert, stay alert. What do we reckon? It was stay alert the last time. I don't know what the answer is to this one. Let's have a look. It is, in fact, stay at home, would you believe? That is a turn up for the books. That went crazy when that was launched. And I think the final one, it will certainly be the final one. Beaches in Kent versus parks in Kent. And we'll get things going after this. What do we think? Did everyone go down to the beach this weekend? Everybody have it? I thought most of the county seemed to be on the beach this weekend. And as Neil commented, I've got a slight rose tint to myself after too much sun exposure. Right, it was in fact beaches in Kent. Okay, right, I'm going to jump out and stop screen sharing from now because I'd like to firstly welcome everybody. Welcome to the networking event. This is our 3rd virtual networking event. We do this every other week, so please do join us again next time as well. Please spread the word. I think it's hopefully you'll find it's actually really positive experience. I was quite skeptical first time we did it, not knowing what the virtual world would be like, but it's been really good fun. We've had some great feedback. We're going to kick things off with a speaker, which I'll let our sponsors introduce, which is Furley Page, as you can tell by my background. And they will introduce the speaker, and we're here from Jim for about 20 minutes. Then we're going to go into some speed networking. So this is a new format for us. Okay, if this goes wrong, there's a good chance it could go wrong. Okay, we've never done this before, but we're going to give it a try. What we're going to do is we're going to push you into smaller rooms, and then Molly's going to go around and kind of move one person from room to room to try to maximize the number of people that you get to meet. Okay, if it's a disaster, that's fine. We won't do it again. All right, give us your feedback at the end. Give us your feedback, and we'll kind of adapt the format as we go. We do that for about 20 minutes, moving people from room to room, so you get to meet lots of hopefully new people. We're then going to bring you all back into the main room, and then we're going to decide whether that was a good format or not. If it was good, we'll go again. If it was rubbish, we'll go back to the old format, which was just slightly larger rooms, and we all stay in the same room for the next kind of 15 to 20 minutes. And then, as I said, we're going to finish the session off with a bit of a quiz using your iPhones to answer that, and you get a chance to win a 3-minute elevator pitch next time we do this as well. So you get a chance to talk to the whole room about the business that you do. For those who don't know, my name's Luke, by the way. I forgot to actually say hi. And I work for Sleeping Giant Media, and I also am on the board of the Kent Invicta Chamber. So if there's any stuff that you'd like that I'm saying, just join me on LinkedIn. We're going to try to reach out and say hi to everybody, because this is what it's all about. Make sure in your rooms that you do have a chat with everybody. Do talk a little bit about what you're doing, and try to connect on LinkedIn. Carry on the conversation afterwards. That's what these events are all about, is building those kind of connections and hopefully sparking up some good conversations to take forward. So without any further ado, I'm going to hand over to Natasha from Furley Page, who's going to introduce our speaker, Jim. So over to you, Natasha.
Good morning. I apologise if you get some background noise. They've just now started digging up the pathway outside my house, which is impeccable timing. I can just hear them, so I'm getting really distracted, so sorry. Good morning and welcome to the Kent Invicta virtual networking. My name's Natasha Biggs, and I'm an associate at Furley Page Solicitors, and I'm here online with my colleagues Rupert Cox and Michelle Carroll. Furleys are a leading law firm in Kent, and we're extremely proud to be sponsoring this virtual network. I hope to see some of you in the virtual breakout rooms later, and I'm going to hand over to Jim now for his presentation, so thank you.
Thanks, Natasha.
Natasha, thank you very much. So, share my screen there. Right, good morning, everyone. And I'm going to be talking for about 20 minutes on planning for the recovery. And what this is designed to do is to help to structure your planning, but also give you thoughts around what you need to consider as we move forward. Now, what I'd like to do first of all is thank Furley Page and Kent Invicta Chamber of Commerce for inviting me to speak to you this morning. So a little bit about myself and the group that I'm part of. So I'm part of UK Business Mentoring, and we've been mentoring business owners since 2009. And we support business owners with their challenges. And we provide a range of support, which includes monthly mentoring programs for business owners. And we like to consider ourselves as your unreasonable friend. So what does that mean? We'll look to ask you the questions that perhaps others won't ask you, and that possibly you won't want to be asked, but that need to be asked, to help make you and your business a success and to move forward and be even more profitable than it is now. And what we're really proud of is that we are rated #1 in the UK by our clients. So what I'll cover today, I'll start with where we are. We'll then look at 7 key areas of focus for the recovery plan. We'll then summarise and then look to answer any questions. And as we go through, you'll see the red dot, the UK BM top tip. And these are things that we consider absolutely must-dos for any business. And I'd like to start with a thought of the day. And I love quotes, I love equations. And the one that hits me, particularly at this time, is E plus R equals O. An event plus your response equals the outcome. Now, we all know what the event is, and we can't do anything about changing that. But the key focus of this webinar, this meeting, is about how you're going to respond to the events to help get the outcome that you really wish to get. So where are we? And I was told today that we're 65 days into lockdown. So over the last 65 days, words that have become absolutely overused, words such as unprecedented, phrases such as self-isolation, social distancing, the new norm, and my particular favourite, which is on the list, lockdown haircut. And a word that has really entered our vocabulary, it's been around a while, but no one, I don't think, really knew it, the furlough. And let's be fair, who would have considered that toilet rolls would have become our new currency? And the impact is not just on ourselves, but on our high streets. It's been on small businesses, it's been on large. So in the press recently, there's been Rolls-Royce, 9,000 layoffs, I believe. British Airways struggling. But it's not all about struggling. Companies such as Zoom have prospered. And they've gone up from 10,000 daily participants, sorry, 10 million daily participants in December, to in April, it was 300 million participants a day using their service. And also there have been companies that have successfully pivoted, that have moved from alcohol production, for example, to sanitizers, whilst keeping their own identity. But there's been a huge impact on business performance. And here we have the yellow line, which indicates the sales forecast for 2002 for a business. And the next line will actually illustrate what happened to a vast majority of businesses and that sales dropped through the floor. And what we're trying to do now is follow the green line, which is recover and grow. And the question here is, how big is the problem that we face as business owners? But also, how quickly can we recover? Which then brings us to our first top tip. And the first top tip, the first thing any business should be doing at this point, is doing their cash flow forecast. Do it for the next 6 to 12 months and do a best case and worst case scenario so you know how good it might be, but in particular how bad it might be. And I say this as an ex-banker. Banks do not like surprises. So if you be able to look now and see that you have an issue down the line, demonstrate to your banker or whoever you're getting finance from that you're in command of your numbers. And the example we've got here, and there is a lot of numbers, it's a very busy slide, but if I direct you to the bottom right hand, this company have done their cash flow forecast and they know that in August they require £35,000 to start to come back. There's also been an impact on the business owner, and most people on the call will be familiar with the change curve. And over the last 65 days, I think everyone would have gone through the curve of shock, denial, disbelief, frustration and anger, low moods, experiment. But the focus today of today's webinar is the decision to work in the new situation, in where we are now and how we look to move forward. So the 7 key areas of focus are your people, your customers, your suppliers, marketing, financials, processes and systems, and the magic ingredient that pulls it all together. So we're going to start by talking about your people. So the starting point for anything, is strongly recommend this, is think about when you last showed them that you care. So you may have people in the business, you may have people on furlough. When was the last time that you picked up the phone to them to speak to them about how they're doing and speak about how the business is doing and what the future plans are? So you engage them in your business. Speak to them about their emotional well-being. And as we move forward, shops, I believe, are starting to look to open in 2 to 3 weeks. Talking about return dates and then return phasing as well. You can talk to them about how they'll be affected and give them information such as social distancing and PPE. And there's some fantastic guidance that you'll be able to speak to them about on the Gov.uk website called Working Safely During Coronavirus. You'll be able to speak to them about their travel concerns. And also plan for home working, not only for themselves, but also how you're going to remote manage them, which is a skill in itself and that an awful lot of people are not familiar with. And I think a phrase that will become more and more common for us is demonstrable reassurance. How do you demonstrate to your people, to your staff, that you care about them and give them reassurance that it is safe to return to the workplace and do a great job for you? So everyone's pushing in the same direction. The next area is your customers. And again, are you staying in touch with them? The thing you don't want to do at this point is go quiet. And when you do get in touch with them, what are you doing? Are you looking to educate them about the existing services, new services, or what safety measures you're looking to take? And how do your customers see your business? One of the top tips that I heard recently, and it really resonated with me, is that when speaking to your customers at this point, don't look to sell. They do want reassurance, they want education, they even want to be entertained. But selling to them is probably not the right time. And people do tend to remember this, particularly as we move forward. I also say about seize the moment. There was a fantastic example that the week prior to the lockdown, I think everyone was kind of panicking around what was to come. And I shopped at the local Tesco's, and it was the day before Mother's Day. And what they were doing was to keep their customers calm and to reassure them, and was to give away flowers. So anyone who was looking for flowers, they were giving them away. Now, it was only a small gift and a small gesture, but it was to actually show that kindness to others that everyone has become so familiar with. It's also worth considering when you're planning, what does my market look like now? The need to reopen, thinking about what offers and what message you're going to give. I received an email last week from a restaurant who was asking me for my feedback on how I would like to interact with them when they get open again. And it's a very simple questionnaire, but I felt engaged by what they're looking to do, and they offered me a £10 voucher to complete it. So it's a very simple way of re-engaging with our customers. And also things like that attract customers. So how are you going to attract existing and new customers back to your business if you have indeed closed down? And again, the phrasing, demonstrable reassurance. How are you going to reassure your customers that you and your services and your people are there for them, and that you have their best interests at heart? The next area is your suppliers. I'm not going to apologise for this, but again, the first point is communication and information. When was the last time that you spoke to your suppliers to see how they're doing? As business owners, everyone's worried, and they are business owners, much like ourselves. How do you pick up the phone, check how they're doing, and talk to them about what your plans are? Because again, you're looking to give them reassurance that you're going to be there so that they can then get their services to you. By talking to them, you establish whether you've got a robust supply chain. So it allows you to gauge that when you reopen, are you going to have product shortages? Are there going to be reduced logistics? And we consider social distancing, we're talking about our customers, but what might you need to consider for things such as deliveries? Gauge their financial stability. Not only are they going to have the products there that are going to help you when you reopen and deal with your customers, but are they going to be there, or are they having issues? And it may be a good time to think about what your existing terms are, and is there a way that can make them more favourable for both of you? I'd also consider price fluctuation. Certainly in the building trade, there are issues with suppliers getting into the UK, which potentially will drive up demand and therefore drive up prices. Has this been considered in your cash flow forecast? And the last point on your suppliers is, what are your options? Have you got a contingency plan just in case? So what's your plan B and what's your plan C? The next area is marketing. And I mentioned earlier with your staff and with your customers, but the key point is do not go silent. And think about your audience. Is it going to be the same ones that you've always had, or is it a new target market? And then within that, think about how do you reach them? And is your messaging on point? And does it accurately reflect your business values and your business personality? There's a company in America called Zappos who sell shoes, but the way they describe themselves is a customer service business that happens to sell shoes. And since the lockdown, what they've done is they've opened up a new customer line, which is called a customer service for anything line. And they're encouraging anyone to phone them up with any question about anything, and they will look to help. So they've had questions around recipes, where to find things. They had a phone call from a hospital in New York looking for PPE equipment, which they supported with. And what they've looked to do is find a reason to reinforce their identity and maintain that customer connection. And also, they've received some fantastic publicity off the back of it. So, and that, what they've done accurately reflects what their business stands for. Now, Zappos is a huge company, but every company can think about its business personality and how you portray that during your marketing. Within this, also consider what is the customer journey. It's an excellent opportunity to review the customer journey now, but also what it might look like as you either pivot or introduce new services. And it also then allows you to consider mechanics and the channels that you use for your marketing. Now, in my experience, a marketing plan is absolutely key to a business's success. But what percentage of businesses, in my experience and my colleagues' experience, have no formal marketing plan? Now, you might be surprised to find out that in our experience, when we start out with them, 90% of businesses do not have a marketing plan. An awful lot of people think that a marketing plan needs to be very complicated, and it doesn't. So the starting point is thinking about, what does your product or service do for your customers? So for example, does it help them make money, take away a problem, or make them feel good about themselves? From there, think about who your demographics is. Who is your target market? What do they look like? And that is from the point of view of what their preferences are, where are they, what are their buying habits? Which leads us nice to psychographics, considering why do they buy? Once you've considered your demographics and your psychographics, you then look at the key point for you, which is, why do people buy from you? What is your compelling competitive advantage? And then once you've got that information together, you can consider what marketing channels you use. And in our experience, we strongly recommend no more than 5 to 7 channels that you'll be looking to get the message out about your business out to your audience. And then once you've done that, which is my next top tip, pull together a marketing plan. So if you don't have one, create one. And by creating it, it compels you to take action. It doesn't need to be very grand. The example you have on there is a template that after this networking event, I'm more than happy to share. And it doesn't need to be more than 1 or 2 pages. And we strongly recommend with this is, for each campaign that you have, track your return on investment. Just doing marketing for marketing's sake is fine, but by actually tracking what the return on investment are, will allow you to be more effective, more efficient with your marketing. And as I said, a template or example is available. So the next area is financials. And as we said earlier, cash flow forecast is absolutely key. And with it, play what if scenarios. Look at pinch points and what the gaps are, which will allow you to very early look at what your funding requirements are and what the options are available to you. And one of the key findings have with business owners is, do you know your numbers? And what we tend to come across is either businesses that have an awful lot of numbers and don't do an awful lot with them, or some that have none and leave it to their accountant. And the thing I'd really like to take away from this is that doing that is fine, but the numbers, it's your business, it's not the accountant's. So you being aware of what your numbers are, but more importantly, how you can use them to grow your business and get a better return is absolutely key. And think about what does get measured. What are your key performance indicators? And I'll come to this in a second. And the last part is revisit all your costs. Now, the reason I put this as a top tip is cost tests tend to happen. When was the last time that you scrutinized what you're paying out for? And the recommendation is that you go through, as a business owner, your costs and your overheads every 3 to 6 months. And think about, for every line, am I getting value? We were working with a business last year. The business owner went through the costs for the first time in 3 years. Actually, to be fair, longer than that, apologies. It's the first time they'd gone through it. And what they found was that they, as part of their costs, they were paying out for 30 pages, which was sitting in the drawer, hidden away in the admin area. The business owner did not know that they were paying out for pages, which quickly got returned and improved the cash flow immediately. Now, instead about what gets measured, about your KPIs, your key performance indicators. And again, another top tip. Most businesses, if they do have a dashboard, look at turnover and profit, which is fine. But what I'd strongly recommend is think about the activities that actually drive your turnover and your profit. So for example, do you measure your inquiries or your inquiries conversion rate? And if you need help with this, I have a very easy template that I'm happy to share that will allow you to focus on the key numbers for yourself. The next area is processes and systems. So what are they? And remembering that, particularly if your business has been shut down, your people may be coming back from 2 months of inactivity. What are they? What are they? Are they documented? Are they fit for purpose? And what action do you need to take to reboot? Do the staff fully understand them? What they are, what they do, and why they're there? And check what you're doing via mystery shop. So not only what your business is doing, but strongly recommend that you mystery shop your competition as well, because it's a chance to see what they're doing differently and also an opportunity for you to improve what you do. And never assume the process is happening and ensure that you verify it. And this is not just for the recovery, but going forward. A phrase I got taught a long time ago was tell me, show me. Get people to tell you what's happening, and then get you to show it. It removes the element of surprise. And then once you pull those 6 areas together, the next top tip is pull together a recovery plan. And again, the template that you can see on screen, I'm happy to share with you if you'd like a copy of it. And the phrase there, by planning, it compels you to take action. It also allows you to measure, and what measures gets done. As I said, the template is available. So we've looked there at 6 areas for your business that you need to consider when planning generally, but also planning to recover and move forward. But what's the secret ingredient? What's the one thing that pulls all of this together? And the secret ingredient is yourself. You'll be planning for all those areas, but the question is, what are you doing to prepare to develop yourself as a business leader, a business owner? And the reason that I put this is the role of the business owner changes over time and as the business gets bigger. And unless you move with it and spend more time working on the business rather than in it, you will always struggle. Or certainly you will find that it's not as enjoyable as you wish. So think about self-management. How well do you plan your day or your week? How well do you delegate? Do you have a clearly defined structure that you, and more importantly, your people know? How well do you prioritize? How well do you lead and manage your team? And there's a phrase here, success is nothing more than a few simple disciplines focused on every day. And by following and developing yourself, it allows you to manage yourself and your time, allows you to get that work-life balance that potentially you could be missing, and focus on the key things. Work on the business, not in the business so much. So it's fine saying that, but think about where you are right now. Where is your head around your business? So what's your mindset? What's your motivation? Potentially there's financial concern, but also family worries as well. You also need to consider that you're not here to be a superhero. Accept what's happened. Give yourself thinking time to think about your business, how you're going to progress forward. Decide on the actions that you wish to take. Plan to rebuild and move forward. And consider how you're going to lead by example and be the role model for your people. And that's not only your staff, but your customers as well. And the good news is you don't need to do this all by yourself. So who do you talk to? Well, there is some fantastic support available. And there's some of it on screen here. Kent Invicta Chamber of Commerce, for example. I will be fair, I thought it was mainly about networking. But when I actually had someone speak to me about it, the range of services are absolutely fantastic and the key for any business owner. You've got the Growth Hub there, you've got Locate in Kent, and there's an unashamed plug for my company, UK Business Mentoring. So why would you use a business mentor? Well, you're going to see on screen an awful lot of numbers, and these are independent numbers that back up why you would look to have a mentor. And the evidence is compelling to say that by having a mentor, it does allow you to grow and build your business, and you've got more chance of doing that. But interestingly enough, when everyone, the stats do bear up having a mentor, only 15% of business owners do have someone that they can talk to, share their concerns with, and help them and act as support for them to help grow their business, to be that unreasonable friend. I would also say within this that whilst I'm on here speaking as behalf of UK Business Mentoring, a top tip from myself is, if you're going to look to get a mentor, and I would strongly recommend it, find the one that suits you. As part of the coronavirus helpline, there are some fantastic mentors there. And by reaching out, you'll be able to find one that suits what you're looking to achieve, your personality, your business values. So I'd strongly think about who is it going to be your unreasonable friend moving forward that's going to help you take some of the pressure off you. So in summary, create a recovery plan, cash flow forecast, best and worst case scenario, communicate with your staff, your suppliers and your customers, show that you care. Revisit your market and your marketing plan, know who they are, know where they are, know how you're going to get in contact with them and tell them that you're there. Verify your processes and track your financials and your KPIs. And if you haven't got them, what are they going to be? And the key part here that will pull everything together, what are you doing to help yourself be the best business owner that you can be? And to help you, there's given up a list of support that's available, which my details will come at the end if you'd like copies of. Then please, by all means, contact me. Happy to provide it to you. And there are templates. There's a prompt sheet. There is a mentoring session. But also I can provide you links with essential government UK pages to save you hunting all over the place for them. I just want to close with where I started, I think, which was the thought of the day, which E plus R equals O. The event plus your response equals the outcome. And we can't change the event. But what we can do is at this point change our response for our planning, not only for our business, for ourselves as well, and this will change the outcome. And I think it was really eloquently put. You can't stop the waves from coming, but you can learn how to surf. And I must admit that absolutely resonates with me, particularly at this time. So thank you very much for listening to me. I hope that was okay. And I'm going to hand it back to Luke for questions.
Great, thanks very much for that, Jim. I think what we will probably do is we might just jump straight into the networking, but if any questions come up, do chuck them in the chat, because then we can come back in to sort of kind of pose those at the end. So again, if you've got questions for Jim, put them in the chat. If you'd like a copy of any of those templates, either message Jim directly, Molly, or put it in the chat, and generally we'll kind of share all that content afterwards. So I think there's some great concepts in there, and I think we all need to become surfers very, very quickly would be my takeaway. The waves are coming, and they're coming thick and fast, and it's probably going to be a while. So let's learn to surf. And I think what we're going to do next is we're going to push you all into the breakout rooms and take some of the content that you've just seen. So any challenges, this is a great opportunity that you're going to be in a room with some business owners, leaders, marketing departments, different people with different perspectives. It's a great opportunity to bounce some of those questions around. What are the challenges? What are the opportunities? What numbers are you looking at? What did you count before? What do you count now? What we call lag and lead measures that are worth considering. And then, pose those questions to each other, use those as kind of talking points. And as I said, this format, first time we tried it, we'll give it a go. You'll be in a smaller room, and then Molly's going to move one person to the next room, so that you hopefully get a chance to meet new people. So remember to introduce yourselves, give a bit of an overview of what you're doing, and then start asking questions to see if you can come away with some great ideas from this. And we'll see you back in about 15-ish minutes back into the main room. So Molly's going to press that button. And so if you join the breakout room, you have the blue button, click that. That'll pull you into a separate room. Here we go. And sometimes it disappears behind the main Zoom window. Okay, so if you're wondering what I'm talking about, there should be a little dialog box that will be behind the main Zoom window.